Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller. It is 5:30 on the dot and today's date is February 18th. Let's check in with meteorologist Ben Beddoes for a look at your forecast this morning. Now, Ben, it was very chilly when I was walking out this morning, but luckily no flurries like we were seeing yesterday. What can folks expect today?
Yeah, it's going to be a day, at least to start, that's going to be pretty calm across our area. We are going to be dry during the day, but we do have another winter storm that is looming, and it starts tonight. But out there right now, we are calm. We look at London Corbin Airport temperatures right now, right at 27 degrees as we have partly cloudy skies. And yeah, it's just kind of your typical February morning out there right now. We look at the satellite and radar, and we have a few flurries that are trying to get into the area, but for the most part, they are staying to our west. Looks like we have some light activity in Pulaski County and Wayne County, but it's very light. And really the main stuff, again, is not going to come until this evening and late tonight. We look at the day overall, and generally we're going to see temperatures climb into the low 30s, get to about the freezing mark. And yeah, there could be a few flurries flying here and there, but it's not going to really impact much. Again, that changes. We get to tonight. We do have winter storm warnings out for most of the area, but I'll detail how much snow you could get. That's coming up.
Ben, thank you. Governor Andy Beshear paid a visit to the mountains yesterday, including Pike County. A number of business owners along US 23 in that county are cleaning up the aftermath of this weekend's flooding. But through the devastation, some business owners are finding a message within the mess. Alyssa Williams heard that message firsthand.
As you can see, it was up in here about 5 foot, which would be about, it was in this area through here.
This is Greg Tackett. He owns his own auto accessory shop here in Pike County.
We were expecting it to be bad, but it was actually a lot worse than what we were even thinking.
Tackett says most of his items he sells here, his personal vehicles and even some customers' vehicles are a complete loss. But regardless of this hurdle in his way, he remains optimistic.
I know that we've been hit with a lot of things this year alone, just with the weather and things like that. This is our part of the world, great people, and we're going to come right back and we'll be right here.
That optimism continues next door within his wife Tammy's clothing boutique. Tammy showed me all of the loss within her own shop. But one thing that was untouched by the water was this sign right here that says he makes beauty from ashes. A sentiment Tammy says they will carry with them through this.
And when I walked over here, I saw it and I said, okay, it's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Our people, there's nobody like Eastern Kentucky mountain people.
The Tacketts say the best way folks can support them through this is by stopping in when they get things up and running again. In Pike County, Alyssa Williams, WKYT.
Flooding in Leslie County has left some communities completely cut off, with roads underwater and no way in or out. Emergency officials say they're working to reach those stranded before temperatures drop even further. High water from Buckhorn Lake left parts of Kentucky 257 impassable, stranding residents in the Dry Hill and Confluence areas. Leslie County Emergency Management Director Tony Hacker says crews are working to get supplies to those still cut off.
We're doing all we can right now. We're going to have Fish and Wildlife. We'll be using boats to deliver MREs and water down to the residents. As far as propane and generators, we may have to rely on the National Guard for that. I'm contacting and working on that right now.
Hacker says water levels are starting to drop, but it could still be several days before roads are clear and residents can safely leave their homes. Water levels are still higher than normal at Carr Creek Lake. The Litcar recreation area remains blocked off. At Litcar, water levels were at the roofs of the bathroom and picnic areas yesterday. James Sandlin with the emergency management team in Knott County says that the community is working together on recovering after the flooding.
My son's been out with me all weekend helping deliver water and cut trees. So everybody's doing what they do here in Knott County. Everybody's pitching in to help everybody.
In Knott County, crews were seen in the Holly Hills region cleaning up debris and mud from the parking lot and in the shopping center. Just a few miles away at Alice Lloyd College, a crew was also seen cleaning up mud from the outdoor basketball courts. For residents without water, you can go to the Knott County Sportsplex. Floodwaters have raged through Floyd County, leaving many folks isolated with several roadways covered. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has a look at the county's rescue efforts.
Man, it was seemed like it hit us real quick. Again, starting in Left Beaver, the Beaver Creek started getting flash flooding, and homes started taking in water. Cars got trapped in water.
The weekend floodwaters rushed through many communities in Floyd County, leaving areas like Beaver and Prestonsburg to deal with flooded waterways, soiled homes, and at least one reported death.
This has been longer lasting. It's taken a real long wearing effect on people. The flash flooding was Saturday. The river flooding didn't start until Sunday.
Sheriff John Hunt says rescue efforts have been underway since the waters began rising, saying calls have been coming in about people being trapped and vehicles driving into water. He says the weather has brought with it a feeling of isolation that the people are fighting against.
It blocks you in from different areas, and you can get to it from one side but not another, or sometimes you can't get to that island where water's all around you. And it's kind of, stressful to people to they really want to get to those places, and they'll move our barricades if we put them up. They'll try to go through water that we ask them not to. And it's hard to tell people they can't go to their home, and we don't do that. We just tell them what could occur if they do. And
Hunt says rescue teams from all around the region have made their way to the county, and a local business, Copperhead Gun and Range, has been working with military-grade vehicles to get their people back to dry ground.
We started early and have not stopped, and we've probably rescued, I'd say these trucks alone have escorted probably 100 people or more by ourselves.
Hunt says he is hopeful that the waters will recede and the people will soon stand again, urging everyone to stay safe until then. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Sheriff Hunt says he understands the need people have to get home, but he says driving on roadways like this could result in that never happening. So he says safety should always be the #1 priority. In Lee County, many people are coming to terms with the amount of damage done by floodwaters. Lee County Search and Rescue says they helped 3 stalled cars just yesterday morning. They say roughly 50 businesses were closed yesterday. Robbie McKinney lived in Beattyville for 5 years. He is the manager of Lee County Farm Bureau Insurance. He says he rode into town on his kayak to find roughly 2 feet of water in his business.
It'll be okay. We'll get through this. We'll get it rebuilt. We've done it before, and we will do it again.
The biggest concern expressed by people who live in the area, and even a concern from Lee County Search and Rescue, is how cold this water is and how this may not be the last of it. Folks in eastern Kentucky were not the only ones impacted by flooding. Many in Mingo County, West Virginia, were overwhelmed by the volume of water, including in the Kermit area. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey visited the Williamson Fieldhouse yesterday. The facility is acting as a shelter. Folks say they are in that area trying to help out as much as possible.
But I'll tell you what, we're down here on the ground and we're working. We're trying to help as much as possible. We've emphasized the local guys who are working very, very hard, the first responders and folks, that as the more they're coordinating back up with us, we're going to do everything we can, use every bit of energy to be helpful.
The governor confirmed that 1 person had died in West Virginia after the severe weather. He also says 50,000 water bottles were deployed to areas impacted by flooding. WYMT and our sister station WKYT are partnering with Appalachian Regional Healthcare for a flood relief drive. ARH is asking for cleaning supplies and essential things like food, water, and clothing. You can also make a monetary donation online, and between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. you can drop off items at ARH System Center in Lexington, ARH Disaster Relief Center in Hazard, and the former Highlands ARH Cancer Center building in Prestonsburg. Mountain Comprehensive Care Center is providing immediate mental health support for those impacted by flooding here in the mountains. If you or a loved one are struggling, you can contact the center's 24-hour helpline at 1-800-422-1060. That line is available 24 hours each day. You can also dial the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 for immediate support. A propane tank exploded in a Perry County home yesterday. The explosion occurred around noon. A resident did confirm that 2 people were injured, but both were in stable condition. The right side of the house is completely destroyed and debris are all over the yard. Yesterday afternoon, a crew from Kentucky Power was seen at the home. One woman is facing charges after she reportedly shoplifted nearly $70 worth of items in Laurel County. The incident happened last Friday. Police were called to a Walmart in the southern part of the county near Corbin. After finding Whitney Mills, police conducted an investigation which ultimately led to her arrest. Mills was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. Still to come, there's a new ride at the top as the Ford F-150 is dethroned as the #1 vehicle in America.
And next on deck is a winter storm that looks to arrive into our area as soon as tonight. I'll have the details coming up.